Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. How was the midweek break? Open and empty? Or closed and full? Bit of both. Huh?
Full of past, yesterday was.
Yesterday was full of past. In this openness, in this conceptual emptiness, you are completely apparent to yourself. But there is nothing here for the mind. Nothing here for the mind. And in your closeness, in your picking up of notions, we give birth to, not in actuality, but we seem to give birth to the limited self, the limited version of ourselves. So at least to the mind it seems like at least that is something. You see? You could be just sitting, you see? Not to the sense I am just sitting, but just sitting. But the mind finds that very uncomfortable. It will say, okay, at least I am meditating now. This is my time to meditate. You see? It can't leave it alone. You see? Or it will label it as, oh, it's very good to be in silence. You see, it has to have like a condition. And we buy into that condition. And all it seems to do is blur or cloud up or block what we really are. To be at peace with yourself, you see, would mean to accept this unconditionally. You see, accept what is unconditionally. When you add a condition on top, that it must be this way or it must not be that way, it might seem to provide some comfort to your mind, might seem to provide some fertilizer to your ego. You see? But in actuality, it is the play of limitation, separation. And all of you can tell me a little bit. What happens when you just don't carry an intention? Not even to just sit, but we can provisionally use the term. When you're just sitting, what happens? Cool? Huh?
Things are just happening.
Yeah. Thoughts are moving. Then
There's an ease of being.
there's the ease of being.
It's not effort.
No effort. And then
The mind says, this is it.
this is it. You see, this is it also can be a position. Or I'm getting somewhere. Or I just have to do this, then I'm done. You see, this kind of thing. Grasping at some notion, grasping at some conclusion. Whereas what did the Master say? He said, all things are perfectly resolved in the unborn. All things are perfectly resolved in the unborn. But we feel that they are resolved in the born. That is the only problem, you see. Where will you find resolution? Everyone is saying this. Remain in your notionless existence. All things are perfectly resolved in the unborn. Don't believe your next thought. What do you know when you know nothing? You see? Everyone is saying this in one way or the other. You see? But our conditioning says otherwise. Our conditioning says that resolution or whatever you want will come as a result of taking a position. That's why that game is just a thought is very good. You see, because at least then you expose the offers which the mind is giving you, saying, this will offer you this. You see. But all things are perfectly resolved before that. No? What needs to be offered or bought? So now, as you say, there is a ease of being, just sitting. You see? Now what? Hi. Okay. That is really long. Is that a real thing?
No.
What?
I put on fake nails. I found them in the playroom.
Oh.
They look good though. Bhaya's dead scared because he's like, I'm gonna die.
So, just like this, whether you call it original state, unborn, natural state, whatever you say, the Atma, this is just a natural being, natural isness. All these terms have qualitative differences. I'm just using them sporadically, don't worry about them. So all things are perfectly resolved right here and now. What you are is completely apparent to you. Whether you think it or not, whether you feel it or not, whether you see it or not. You see? Well, now it's your move. And whatever move you're playing, you have to say it out. Or type it out. I'm saying empty, 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 empty. Master Bankai said all things are perfectly resolved in this empty, in the unborn. Now it's your move. Whatever move you're playing, be honest about it and say, this is my move.
God came, I just want to watch some TV.
I just want to watch some TV. That'll resolve what? Take away the boredom of this nothing. Yeah, so you can play the boredom trick also.
I want to go into yesterday and bring whatever I kind of recognized yesterday
Yeah,
into now.
exactly.
You know, so it's already done, it's in.
Yeah, see, yesterday what inside you had is valuable.
Yeah.
What is perfectly resolved right here and now, that is not worth it.
I'm dreaming about my next trip to Maui.
Dreaming about my next trip to Maui. Is it? So this, the visuals are coming, that's okay. Is it? The Maui visuals are coming. Is it? What is like?
Oh my goodness.
when, how, wow. We feel that something external brings us this inner solitude or peace or joy or something like that. You see, but it always comes from your own being, your own self. And there is nothing that you can see externally which is greater than the simple, innocent recognition of your own self.
Why is this attention going to this energetic movement that's happening in the lower body?
Why is attention going to energetic movement in the lower body? That attention can go wherever attention wants to go, but our interpretation of it, that this should be or this should not be, can be one of the tricks.
Sometimes the mind says, it is nice to be in this open emptiness always.
Yes. It says it's nice to be in this open emptiness always. You see, and if you buy the condition of time, then it'll keep you trapped in time. You see? You see? So when you seem to get close, it's like, I had it yesterday, why don't I have it today? All these kind of things. It makes you an object within time, whereas you are not an object in time. Even in moments of grace, verbal comprehension kicks off and gets a momentum. I try to bring that into my awareness. Then it slowly withers. Sometimes I buy into. What if you suddenly lose this inquiry? It might be trickier going forward. This is the move. What is the guarantee? And the funny thing is that the one who needs that guarantee, the one who is in time, worried about always and guarantees, that one can you find? So if it needs some honesty, some courage actually, to admit to yourself that you don't even know who perceives this world, who woke up this morning, who is here now, before you can make plans or have regrets. Or make plans that you will regret. So you as the mind, when you pose as the mind, don't know any of this. But you in reality, what do you know? You as mind don't know anything really, you're just proposing propositions, is it? Offerings. But you in reality, what do you know?
I can't even hear you, Father. I don't know what's
Can't hear you.
happening.
Yeah, it can become all blurry. It can sound like it's all nonsense. It can sound like it's not English at all. Just like, you see, why? Because we don't know where to put this in our conceptual framework. Where does this fit in? How is this helping, or how do I hold on to this? Is it? Does it fit into my understanding of the Isha Upanishad, or you see? So Shankara had said, "What do you know when you know nothing?" You see, because there is no compartment for this. You can just feel like blah blah blah. I'm just saying simply, very simply, that all your mind's propositions, tell me which word you didn't get, okay? All your mind's propositions about who is perceiving this hand, who is perceiving this world, who is sitting here now, who woke up today. When you check, you find that the mind's propositions are just made up. Like the fog, you see? It's just the fog. It's just a fog. I'm familiar with this because many times I'm just looking in the room and I know I'm just like in the fog.
my case,
Yeah.
I never gave myself the reward of just sitting. It's
Yes.
always like you're wasting time.
Yes.
You should be doing this. You have to achieve this. Throughout, driven by that.
True.
So this is such a great gift which I
Yeah.
never gave myself.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
So welcome. We've been also on this treadmill, you see, constantly getting, collecting. She said very beautifully, I never gave myself this gift. You see, give yourself this gift. Sorry, one more, and it really bothers me. Won't you become socially irrelevant? Well,
With the wrong people. With the right people, you'll be relevant.
yes, in a way we can say like that. But more than that, I just want to say that if you did become socially irrelevant, would the truth still be worth it? Are you willing to spend this human life in a lie just because the perks of social relevance, approval, acceptability, even being liked and popular? Are you willing to live a lie just because these perks are there? And so it could be a valid question. You could look at it and say, yes, you see? Yes I am, you see? And that's fine. You see, this life is like a playground. You play with it as you choose. But if you say that I really want the truth, and anything, I'm up for the truth. You see? So I'm not saying that you will become, but I'm asking whether if you did, would it still not be worth it?
Because
What is the value of truth, you see, versus everything else?
this social relevance also will be to the non-existent thing.
Yes. For whom would the social relevance be? Or irrelevance? What will survive death? How many friends will you have after you die? It's basically if there is a qualification for satsang, it is just the Nachiketa qualification, isn't it? We shared the story of Nachiketa the other day. And the mind, which is in the story, Yamraj, the god of death, is saying, in this aspect of the story, saying, but I'll give you this, I'll give you that, I'll give you pleasure, I'll give you friends, I'll give you a good life. And this young boy said, but will any of this survive death? And if it is coming and going, if it is going to go tomorrow, it might as well go now. So in the Matrix, there's this one man who says, it's fine. I know it's a sham, it's a matrix. You see? It's just Maya, Leela, whatever you say. But I taste this wine. I eat this steak or whatever he was eating. Leave me alone. You see? And that's fine. You see? Those who are enjoying really Maya and are happy with whatever it is, I have no motivation here to or intention to push them out of it or something like that. It is only those who come and say, I'm done with this, give me the truth or give me that which is beyond time. How do I find myself? You see? Then we can really meet. And it's not a judgment call. You see, it's just consciousness playing as various aspects, and that is fine. But the struggle comes, you see, when you want to keep one foot in that door and one foot in this door. You see? I want something here also. I want something there also. You see? You see? And the funniest thing is that are you really with the mind even enjoying this world? It makes the truth insipid, it makes the world insipid. Isn't it? Have you truly perceived even anything unadulterated perception? We constantly mix everything with the thought mantra, what's in it for me? And how can I hold this? And how can I not have that? You see, this kind of thing. But primarily, what's in it for me? If you were to just perceive this silly thing without any notion, without any concept, unjudged, without interpretation, just so full of wonder of even this phenomenal play. Just the sensation of temperature. I'm now labeling to just illustrate temperature of hardness or softness. I mean the sensation of hardness or softness. The vibrancy of the shades and the shadows in a simple object. To even taste this Leela empty of just me. You're like, what can I get from this? Is it what? Is this clean? You're like, this is the mind version, is it? But just like, that's why sometimes in India it is said that it is the sages who are the Mahabhogis. Yeah? Don't get wrong ideas. It is just the sages who are really tasting even this Maya so fully, so beautifully. Empty of ideas about how it should be, could have been, must be. What is the why all of this? What is the cause of creation? To see this? I'm saying seriously, I know it sounds, just to experience this object, a simple coaster or whatever. But no, with the mind we don't experience this, we don't experience that. Neither here nor there.
So sages will be enjoying that when we use a fiction. We know it is a fiction, it is unreal. We enjoy it.
Yeah, so actually no nothing at all.
Yeah.
You see? Because you are not living dependent on even the pointers. You see, you're just making no distinction even between true and false, is it? Maya and Brahman, Ishvara and Maya. These are just pointers to shake you out of your limited perceptions of yourself. You see, once you discover that I am Brahman, you are not living on that mantra, I am Brahman. I know I am Brahman. You see, all of it. It's just empty of all of these positions. You see? Just so open. There is no distinction between coaster and me. You and me. Where is the line, dividing line? Where do you stop and I start? Where do I stop and you start? And you pick up this dividing line. Then you play this game in a limited way. So when the sages say don't be selfish, this is what they mean. Don't pick up this Maha Mantra of what's in it for me. It is not getting you anything in reality. And where to find all of this? In your unborn existence, in the just sitting, as we were saying. So what is this play of Satsang? Of course, I've provided hundreds of different definitions, but it's just this game of providing some energetic support to be able to see that whatever truth I'm after is naturally present here and now. And then the rest of the words of Satsang are just to deal with the doubts. But, so there's but, if there's no but,
But what?
anything, but can I hold on to this, but what happened to me yesterday was making me feel like that, but you see, I have to leave in a week, you see, but anything. It's like, you are the self now. You see, you are the self now, everything, your truth is apparent to you, and all things are perfectly resolved in this unborn. You see, so when I say your move now, that's what I mean. You see? How do you meet this? With an objection which is but, you see? With a claim which is yes. So just empty of all of this.
You're the only one who gives permission
Huh?
to. You're the only one in my life
Yeah.
who's giving me permission to be myself.
Yes. 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 And that is why satsang is this sort of safe environment where you can just be yourself. You don't have to take any position here. You don't have to be this way or that way. To come to a place where you can unburden yourself from all roles. Okay, Hari wants to speak something, he can come.
Hello.
Dear, I'm just going to mute so everyone can hear you better then.
So good to see you. Sorry for just to bring kind of it's very beautiful that satsang, but bringing that energy feel like to more of a phenomenal level something is happening and which like pulling all the time attention, and that's means yes, it's bit overwhelming, and that like continuously it's a kind of environment, so that like I don't know, uh, it's difficult to be otherwise naturally. I i don't know, but naturally most of the time I'm without conditioning, but now as you know, few months before, hello, a few months before I was struggling with my office environment. Then I changed my job last month, and only to find out it's much horrible than what it was. So I feel I was much better off there. And it's overwhelming. It's like kind of work environment which is not something personal about, but it's quality of work, and that being which are like very elementary, and it's so overwhelming. I didn't belong there, and I just means it like it's kind of suffocating. I don't know what means. It's something very dismatch between what I've been doing and what they are into what level, and that's like, and it's like a kind of I don't know, it's like suffocating for most of the time in office, and that pulls a lot of attention. It's like a kind of stress. It's like I have to come out of it, and this is very strong pull for that. So just
Actually, here there are also some very clear memories where I remember there were job situations which felt so suffocating, so it would feel like I would go to work and then at the end of the day all your life energy was sapped out of you because everything was just like this, like you're feeling this. You went from the frying pan into the fire in a way. So know that I have a sense of what you're experiencing, and I totally understand the kind of frustration that must be there for this. But I want to reassure you that it all works out fine. Know that the Sadguru's grace is taking care of you. And just like this spiritual father of yours went through all these situations and has somehow now come to this life of ease, may it also be the same for you. Just take it one day at a time. And also, when I say life of ease, does not mean a life without work or something like that. You see? There's just a life where we are no longer differentiating between work and life. You see? Like whatever unfolds, unfolds. You see, you are aware that the Wednesday midweek break here is also so that I can go and help Garima with the office work during the week. But the sense of ease does not go away. Whatever the flapping of these hands might be, the movement of this mouth might be, you see, that is allowed to unfold. You see? Then we'll stop labeling things as. I was just sharing with someone the other day, possibly. They were saying that when we make these terms, sometimes the terms themselves become oppressive, you see. So, in a way, we sometimes say work, but we have another term for another type of work we might do called seva. You see? And some of us who have this seva attitude can say, whatever seva my master asked me to do, I'm open to doing, you see. But when it comes to work, then that becomes like, but that is work, you see. But actually both are what? It's just the movement of your hands in some way, typing on the computer or whatever else, and movement of this mouth, you see. To put it very crudely in a way, you see. So we just look at everything as in life as the grace of the master. You see, I know it can seem very, very oppressive. You see. Even here there is so much gratitude for Guruji to have pulled me out of these kind of mental conceptual distinctions. So just take it a day at a time. Sometimes if a day seems too much, then take it 5 minutes at a time. You see. And soon enough you will be back to a place of ease and just simple well-being. One of the greatest gifts I got from Guruji was to see that nothing that can happen in this manifest world actually can touch the reality of me. Of course, there can still come moments from time to time which are fairly rare, where it can feel like, you see, something can get a hold, but they don't last. But here also there was a habit of like dwelling on things and just hold on to something and be resentful about it for weeks sometimes. This is what Guruji would call a Olympic sufferer. It was very much here. You see? So now what I see is anger can come. You see, that also is quite rare, but it can come. But resentment is hardly. You see? What is suffering except a broad term which is talking about all of these things? You see? Resentment, guilt, pride. You might feel like pride is not suffering, but have you seen the faces of those who are caught up in pride? They may not realize it, but that is suffering. Here also there was a big pride infection. The beauty of life is that it slaps it out of you. There is only one source of suffering, which is identification with your thought, you see. Not even thoughts. Just have to identify with the next available thought. That is the only source of suffering. That's why actually you need only one pointer. You see, whatever pointer appeals the most to you in your heart, you see, it makes it seem like there is ease in letting go of just what the mind is proposing now. Whether it is to the pointer of remaining in the unborn, you see, whether it is the pointer, the reminder that even to know one thing is to know too much, whether it is the reminder to check who you are, you see, whether it is the reminder Guru Kripa Kevalam, which means that everything is only grace. Whatever resonates most with you, that's all you need. Because the problem is not as complicated as we might think it is, and the solution is much more apparent than you may realize. once you see that this entire distance between bondage and freedom is completely just about whether you open and allow your next concept, next notion to come and go, or it is about making that a position about yourself, a limited version of yourself, then this whole like seeker identity that we have built up, you see, expecting a glorious conclusion or something to it, becomes very simplified. You see, it's just like if you're empty now, you're a sage. You see? Allow me to make that claim. Don't change your Facebook names yet. You see? You see? And if you take a position, you are posing as the ego. That's all. There is no difference between Bhagwan and you right here and now. All your conclusions are just, now they are just thoughts. You see them as just thoughts. They have no substance besides being thoughts. They are not a valid photograph of reality. They are not a valid sentence about reality. When I say, if still feels like there is a choice, then the choice is God now or me now. God is just sitting. The me will come jumping. You see? And the ow is just a side effect of this me.
There is some pull to retain like a state that happens in the body.
Yeah, it's just a thought. Even if you call it pull or feeling to or whatever, you see, whatever the offer might be coming sounding like.
It's because it's not so much word, it doesn't come in like the word manner, like not like that. It's just like it's a movement.
Yeah, but what does it mean if that movement of attention is there? You see, something gives it a meaning. It could be, it's a pull. You see, it's a something. You see, it itself is not saying I'm Mr. Pull. You see? So this is our meaning of it. And it's good to expose these things because many times in our spiritual vocabulary, we seem like this is like beyond concept or something like that. You see? Like many times I get this report that it's not, a thought is just energetic now, but even energetic is just a thought. Even to say energetic, to claim to know what it is just a thought. Actually everything, when you say God now, everything has only one label, which is God. Is it? What can you say about this God, 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 God? Is it? This is what I'm trying to convey when I say God now or me now. Everything else is just made up, it's just a thought. Even this. But if you need one pointer, one thorn, one falsity to lead us to the truth, you see? Say whatever you like, just use the term, only use the term God. I will believe it then. What is your report about yourself? You can only use one word, which is God. As many words as you like, but only one word allowed, which is God. God, 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 God. It can sound absurd, you see, but what we claim is much more absurd. Maybe that's how mantras were invented. You just like keep repeating. That's it. It's Ram, 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 Ram. Not what happens when you chant Ram. What am I going to keep this Ram? Not any of that, just Ram. What's your report now?
God.
You may feel like the mind might convince you that this is wordplay or something. It's not that. It's moving from one supreme absurdity to a lesser absurdity. Father, I am so worried concerning my husband and his blood pressure. It is really high in the night and he got a new higher medication. It is so much I feel I need to care for him. At the same time, I know I can't take care and Guruji needs to take care. But somehow he uses me and it is a lot, I understand. Which could better be dropped. Yes. Inwardly empty of any positions. The body continues to play out the way it is meant to play out. One time I remember I was speaking with someone who was caring for her father, and she was the only one in the family who was able to do that at that point. And they were in the hospital together, and she had been up for many days. And she spoke to me and said, Ananta, I'm just so tired. Who is going to look after him tomorrow? There is just no energy here, and I'm fully done. I cannot do it anymore. You see? But there's nobody else to do it. And all that was said from here was that trust the Master's grace. If something has to unfold through your body, then he has to provide the energy also to the body. So without taking on this doership and a sense of I am doing, yet activity can unfold in this body. And the one who is unfolding it is doing it with its divine intelligence. So it doesn't need any other intervention. There is some little bit experience here of taking care of patients for a little bit, not so much, but it can seem quite draining. But I'm reassuring you that nothing is out of Guruji's grace, nothing is out of his care. And just allow your body to be his instrument, allow it to be moved by him. All my love and blessings to both of you, my child. At least all the nouns can be replaced by God. God is happening to God. Why is God doing this to God? When will this end for God? When will God be free?
There's a beautiful post by Muji yesterday.
Aha.
Somebody had shared. It was a nice picture of Krishna, and the words were, God is not playing with you, God is playing as you.
Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Sadhguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.